Hey everybody, I created this video to explain some malfunctions I had with a Kenmore under-counter dishwasher. It's about 14 years old, and an Ultrawash it's called, and it stopped working. The drying light was coming on all the time. Some of the buttons like Smart Wash and Pots and Pans stopped working, and eventually even the start and cancel button stopped working. This had happened once before when the machine was only a couple of years old, so I suspected it was the buttons, which the repairman last time said the button panel was a failure point, a common failure point with these models. Now that it's an older dishwasher, I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money trying to fix it in case something more important died later, so I came up with a fix that you'll see here in this still. I've got some push buttons that bypasses the button panel. The black button is sort of a master button. You press that plus green to start, and if you have to cancel, you press the black button and the red button. So I'll give you an idea of how I went about doing it here. So there. These are the screws that you have to remove. I removed one already. You need to remove those to get the button panel off the door. And yes, important warning, do not continue without disconnecting power from the dishwasher. You're getting to dangerous voltages. So here I am working with just one hand and the phone being held in the other, so it's a little tricky. But you remove the button panel like that, and you'll see underneath the plastic panel covering the electronics, and there's the warning that dangerous voltage is inside, so use caution. And with that panel off, what you see here is what is called the control panel. The button panel is actually housed in the plastic that it's mounted in. This is a really expensive part of the dishwasher, this control panel. So if that's in bad shape, then it's probably not going to be worth doing a fix. Now you pull that out, it's attached by tabs to the button panel, and the button panel is attached with its ribbon cable to these pins on the control board. And again, working with one hand on the phone. I do manage to get it off. There we go. So now the control button is disconnected. The button panel is disconnected completely. And here's just a picture of the model. Your model may differ, but this may give you a guide. And because the models differ, you should consult this bit of troubleshooting information. I think it comes with just about all dishwashers. It's under the kick panel, as you see here. Big piece of paper. And here is an important table showing which button corresponds to which of the pins on the control board. And this is intended for troubleshooting, but I discovered that because it's a guide to which pins correspond to which buttons, I was able to determine that shorting pin 4 to pin 12 will cause a start, and shorting pin 3 to pin 12 will cause a cancel. Again, your model may differ. It's important to note here that the pin numbers actually start from 0. There's only 14 pins in the ribbon cable, but there's a 0th pin, so all the counting happens from 0. You've got to keep that in mind when you're figuring out where pins 3 and 4 are, and 12. And here's the solution I came up with. You see pin 3 has a red lead coming off it, plugged into the where the ribbon cable was. The green cable is plugged into pin 4, and pin 12 is occupied by the black cable. And I pass it out through a hole that I drilled in the front of the button panel where there's no electronics there, it's just plastic. So I'm pointing to it there. And here I am shorting them out. That started, shorting black and green started, shorting out red and black stopped it. So to make this permanent, I gooped up the pins with a hot glue gun just so they don't slide out. And you can see the wiring I've done to the buttons here. I've put resistors in line with the red and green buttons. This is to protect any circuits on the control panel. If you accidentally touch the wrong pin with the black cable or with the other two cables, then it's possible you'll send a voltage to something that could get damaged. In fact, when in the previous picture where I was shorting it with just a piece of wire, you should really do that with a resistor. I used a 220 ohm resistor. Use as high as resistors you can find that still allows the dishwasher to start and cancel, and then that should help protect if you make a mistake. It should protect the electronics if you make a mistake. And you can see the buttons down there in the lower corner there. That's the back side of the buttons. There again, they're screwed through the holes I drilled in the front panel. And this is with the control board reinstalled. And you see the ribbon cable is just left hanging. And there it is running with the wonderful, beautiful steampunk looking buttons on the front, and hopefully it will continue working, and hopefully this will allow you to figure out a solution. Could save you several $100s and avoid putting a dishwasher that might have many years left in its life from going straight into the garbage dump. Thanks.